Earground Radio. New voices amplified.
Greetings, thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to Yegra New Voices Amplified. My name is Plot Marco and I'm your host. Welcome to the program that brings you some of the finest creatives from Zimbabwe. And today we happen to be speaking to two amazing creatives that have managed to repaint the picture of Zimbabwe through their artworks. They have done so many murals, they've done so many artworks that have inspired and given new life to people in different societies, in different communities. They continue to mesmerize us with their artworks, but at the same time, every morning I feed off the energy from one of the two, Marcus. I wake up, the first thing that I do, I go on Facebook and put out a page. No matter how low I'm feeling, you bring in the energy. Let's take it up from the start. Marcus. Who's Marcus?
Marcus, okay, my name is Marcus Zvinavashe, aka the Marcus, aka the Energy Doctor is in the building.
So, the doctor in the building.
Exactly, the doctor in the building. Always good vibes, always, positivity, always taking it a day at a time and always understanding that, things gotta be done and, it's so much about you. You have to dig deep and find the energy and the willpower to wake up and be like, you know what, I'm top of the ground, which means I'm blessed to see this day. Let me do whatever that I do and go with added positivity, positively actually. So Marcus is, hi guys, Marcus is just like a whole diverse person. Love of life, definitely that's one thing. Love of life, creator, an adventure. I mean, like I feel okay. Love of life, creator, nomad, adventure is all that I'm all about, and I can put it that way. And I can't wait for people to know more about what also do I do, or how also do I make sure that things happen.
Awesome. We're going to dig further, like deep into it. Nyasha, tell us a bit about you.
Yes. Thank you. So in Nango, I'm not like Marcus. I'm not very energetic.
I wonder how you guys balance the two. Maybe one is what do they call it? Like when you have body, and then one is the dilution, and one is the.
Definitely the dilution. I'm the dilution. I'm the tonic.
Cool, the tonic. Cool. So tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Nyasha Jeche. I'm an artist, and you see, the first thing that I fell in love with painting, and I've been a painter since I started knowing how to know. I don't know if that's so I've been a painter, and I see colors. I see in colors. You see, if I see a person, I like to think of them like as in colors. Yesterday I was talking to this lady, and she was like, "So if you're to paint me, how would you paint me?" And I told her, your character, you are a very, very soft person. Like, so you are a baby blue, but with a very fiery heart. So you got an orange and red heart, but with a blue exterior. So that's how I feel like. That's how I live my life. I see everything in color. So yes, this is me. This is Nyasha. I'm also a jazz fanatic. Yes, I am a fanatic. Yes, and I'm an armchair cricketer. I'm the one guy who says, hit the ball. But
and guys, tell me, I don't know who wants to respond to this one. How did you guys connect? What connected you two?
Oh, I Nyasha, go fast, my G. I'll go fast, brother. Go fast.
We went to the University of Technology test. We were in the same class now, Marcus. So the first time I saw Marcus, I saw him walking. I got to go to butcher white, a jean, a white tee. He had those days like he was so like me.
Yes.
And okay, the guy, like he's got his own really outlet. And then I realized we're in the same class, so we just started connecting. 2012, started staying together. 13, 14, 15, 16, and then we finished school. But we chilled in the same hood, like we stayed in the same hood, and the rest is history. Now we're here. So we started from Chinoi, now we're here.
From Chinoi, Marcus, now you guys have CaliGraph. Tell me about the idea to create CaliGraph. What was sort of the idea behind it?
I mean, like I told, like I shared about being an adventure-filled person. I mean, like everything starts from an adventure. It came as a result of traveling, so to say. A few kilometers, okay, no, not just a few kilometers, 1,000 kilometers away from me is South Africa. So it was a whole lot of, of being in that space and looking at how they managed to use art to beautify, to communicate, to, to do all of those amazing things. And you're like, when was the last time I actually saw murals in Zim? It had been a while, and you're like, why not this media, right? Why not this media? And I think one key thing that we've ever shared with Nyasha is like we have never been good in terms of in terms of having of being employed. We always had a challenge in terms of that. Like Nyasha was like, I don't see myself working, boy. But listen, I'm like, my guy, I share the same sentiments, eh? So he was like, so okay, I know it's not gonna be, it's not the road that we might want to take. Really won't be easy, but it was one of those things that we agreed on the onset, like, okay, let's work around this. And and I think now, when people look at it, it feels like, yo, this guy's got it easy. But the journey really has been something else. But it was all because of traveling and actually getting to explore and see other spaces done in a certain way that we're like, how can we have this featured in our home? How can we own it as for Zimbabwe? And how can we, get to a space where, we get to appreciate streets and public art? So we then were like, you know what? We're going to do this. But we're not going to do it as Nyasha Jeche, as Marcus Zvinavashe, or as the Energy Dogs, as I would like to say. But we are definitely going to come up together. Then we thought of a name. I was thinking Red Dot. Nyasha was like, Red Dot, what does that mean, though, my guy? I'm like, but at least, the dot means we are firing like that. You're like, no. So then we suggested, he was like, write 3 of yours. Then he wrote 3 of his. Then we did a careful selection all together. I know. Then he was like, calligraphy is the art of inscribing. So what we're trying to do here is inscribing, but we cannot call it like the dictionary term calligraphy. Let's put out that LY at the end of the day and just say calligraph. And CaliGraph was born.
Wow.
Yes,
CaliGraph was born. And
Nyasha, did I leave anything? Yeah, Nyasha, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Which year was that, Nyasha?
2017. That was in 2017. Yeah.
From 2017, in a space of 3 years, you guys have made mind-blowing impact. I can't believe it that it's just been 3 years that you guys have been working like mainstream as CaliGraph. Let's talk about some of the combination that you two have. Do you practice the same art? Do you have the same skills, the same talent, or it's a combination of like one does something, one does something?
So it's not like that. Like it's not like we all have we are the same. We are so different. As you can see from our characters, like Marcus is the vodka, I'm the tonic.
Yes.
You see life differently. I see life differently. So when we fuse that together, like the blue, like the blue and the white, or the black and the white, or whatever it is. You fuse that together, you come up with something fabulous. You see, so that's how it is. That's how it is. Marcus does the thing. He talks to people. He what. Me, nah, I don't like talking to people. So I stay
You're
in the background.
antisocial.
Donyara vanhu. All right.
Yeah. But what feeds your creativity? Marcus, you mentioned that just by seeing what's going on in South Africa in terms of just the street art. For Nyasha, like what feeds your creativity?
So I read a lot, Ngoma. Like I read a lot, and I'm so inspired by music. I'm so inspired by books. I'm inspired by music, and I'm just inspired by observing people from a distance. Like I just observe people. I see people what they do, and sometimes I just go on a walk on my own, just travel or get on my bike, cycle, go around. I learn. I come back. I chill. That's how I feed my creativity. But more than 50% of the time, it's books.
Wow. In terms of books, what sort of books are you reading?
I used to love my novels, and then I started reading how-to books. Right now, I'm reading poetry. Like I'm now so much into poetry. I think I found a place where I can get into a person's mind and understand their mind from 3 or 4 lines of poetry. That's it.
Great. Marcus, you're a fashionista. This is how I see you, but you're also a love of music. Let's talk. Nyasha says that he listens to a lot of jazz, and I've been checking out some of the music that you vibe to, and I know you did the track. It's called what?
I'll be honest in terms of that song. I mean, like, Cover really was Ulen Organlovo's soundtrack. However, when it was short, Ulen was like, you know what, my guy, go ahead, be the whole steering on this one. So the way that I owned it, I know a whole lot of people every time when I was demonstrating, yo. So it's that, but I think going on for me, it's obviously high tempo music. High tempo music really gets my grooves on. High tempo music really inspires me. What else? People in general. I'm inspired by different various people from the street, from corporate all the way to street, all the way to Kumusha. And like I said, that I'm a nomad. So all of my influences come from the result that I understand that I'm forever meeting different individuals. And that's where I get all of these expressions that I am. That's where I can go into any room and for me, you could be like, wow, but I can still connect with someone. I can take myself right now and be in Kumusha. And you for that second, if you're somebody that see me from the outside, you'll be like, but I never saw this or expected this from you. But the whole thing about it is like, for me, I'm a visual person. That's what drives me. That's what also, even when you say like fashionist, I am driven. All that you see me, it's also influences from various people, right? And sometimes I just look at somebody. I can just walk up in the street and see somebody looking at me and be like, "Ooh, that person is looking nice," and I can just go there and be like, "You know what, though? I love your jacket, or I love the way that you put out this outfit," because for me, it's all of those. And when then from the garment point of view, when you look at it, and also the things that we do where we express on murals, it's like you learn how to arrange things like that. Then when it comes to painting, you're like, okay, how can we arrange things also? So it's different influences from another end, and then infusing it with this other art form, because all that I am fully, or all that I always like to say, my language is expression. So I feed on expressive things to amplify everything that I do in terms of my expressive nature.
And you're very expressive when it comes to fashion. I remember bumping into you at the Bulawayo House Awards some 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
before I even recognized you, I had already been drawn by your outfit. What informs your sense of fashion? Like you're very, I would say, conscious when it comes to how you dress, but you dress in a way that you don't find on the street on a regular basis.
I think more than anything, for me, every day, I look every day as if it's either it's a highlight or it's a runway show, right? How can I make sure that I express the feeling that I'm having today through how I look? And I'm a detail-oriented person. I pretty much, I'm the kind of guy who would, after bathing, lay my outfit and be like, okay, cool. Today we're doing shorts with what sneakers, matching what. Let's have something that's really bold and different, and let's do this. Or a belt. No, let's lose the belt. Let's use a shoelace instead. What can we do? Accessories. Okay. I always wear 3 rings. It's just all of those things. How can somebody see you even if they don't get to talk to you, but notice one thing about you that they cannot forget about you? That's how, and for me, it is big. And for me, it's powerful in terms of there's someone who knows me probably because I was wearing a certain shirt, or there's somebody who recognized me within. There could be like 100 people. I'd be like, oh, you mean that guy with the beard, with this other kind of hair, and with those other kind of shoes, and all of those things, feed into my creative space. Because I'm big on expression. So let's express everything boldly, loudly, and proudly.
Wow. Let's talk about that expression, Nyasha.
Yes.
Looking at the murals that you guys have done, what do you seek to express? Do you have like sort of a general feel and theme that informs the murals that you guys have done or do?
Yeah, cool.
So for us, it's 2 things. These are the most 2 important things. The
Yes.
first one is education. We seek to educate with our murals, whatever mural that we play, or it must educate. Someone must educate a kid, it must educate and inspire a grown-up, it must, wherever it is, it must educate. And the second thing is collaboration. How can we collaborate with others? Like right now, we're looking to do murals with poets and musicians. And how can we collaborate so that we can bring art, so that we can bring beauty to community? Sure, there's imagine good poetry culture. Mostly it's published in my books, my hard copies, or my journals or what. So the most regular, the most everyday kid from the Mbare community or from Budiriro has no access to poetry. Honor. Sometimes, mostly my books have poets. So what we're thinking right now is let's just bring the poetry from Adhere and place an image. What's wrong with that? You see, so that's like the most important thing for us: collaborations and education. Yeah.
Collaboration and education, and
Yes.
you guys have done that in an amazing way. I look at what you've done just under the lockdown with the murals that we're speaking to the COVID-19 situation. And I've seen you doing some HIV murals. You've also done, a lot of abstract work. Let's talk about some of the murals that you've done. Marcus, which ones would you say have been sort of the highlights of the work that you've done so far?
It feels like every week that we do is a highlight, though.
Yeah, you're saying?
Nyasha, you were saying? All right. So, I mean, the Oliver Mtukutu was one of the greatest highlights. The Go Warriors mural, say, rallying against Boys for Africa, was also another amazing highlight.
Right. I'm going to be pulling some of them as you're talking.
Yeah.
And then I'll show people a couple of examples. Yeah, you can go on.
Yeah, and also one of the International Women's Day that we partnered and worked with British Embassy. That had Nyaradzai Gumbonzwanda, Yvonne Vera, Mime Sodzi. For us, really, that really was like another, it means a lot for us because, it speaks to the language that we're saying, as Nyasha said, we seek to educate, right? and also ours is a visual language as well. So another thing was the COVID-19 murals. Currently, when we started with the Job Praiser one, ooh,
Wow.
hi, that was mind blowing. And then when we did the Kama Billiard one, it was also, that series alone really has been mind blowing. But more importantly, the recent work that we did with HOAA organizer. What's their name, Nyasha, before?
House of Art.
House of
Called House
Arts
of-
Association.
Okay.
Right, where they were rebranding youthful spaces to give them character, to give them a language of some sort. So we got to do, we got to do a hub space, a mural within
Okay, so
an
you're
indoor
working with
mural.
Oscar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
And also we did some work in Hopley as well. And just being in those kind of spaces, it was mind blowing. But more mind blowing was us traveling to do some work in Mutare, guys.
Mutare.
Ooh,
How was the experience?
that
You
was
were working
everything.
with Fact, right?
We were working with Go Zimbabwe. Go Zimbabwe.
Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah. So I don't know, Nyasha, if there's still other things, because I know each and every one of them is got like a special place in us. So
You left out the one that we did together.
And the first one, like the first one, the Oliver Mchukwu, is the one that sets the standard on for us, and we're always trying to see how can we do better than that? How can we do better than that?
Wow.
Every day. One of our wishes is to make sure that in every hood in Zimbabwe we leave a mural or 2 or 10 and inspire, honor. Like let's say we go to Sakuva out there, we go and say, guys, this is the space that we need to paint. Where can we find artists from Sakuva and paint with them? See, and we have people like Komatinashem Charity. He's been partnering with us for in the previous murals, and it's been amazing. He's like, guys, tell me what you want, and he gives us his paint, and that's the sort of collaboration that I'm talking about. It's the sort of collaboration that not at the end of the you see. So we're forever looking for how can we inspire, and we wish to inspire in so many things.
Wow. Wow, this is great. This is so great to hear. And you highlight the issue of collaborations and cooperation. I've seen a lot of the murals that you guys have done, always bring in like a collaborative partner. How important is that for your work to continue?
So
you go ahead, Nyasha. Go ahead. I'll add on.
So you know what? The collaborations make the dream work. According to Chenefai, she told us that collaborations make the dream work. I remember in 2019 we worked on a mural, Yakanzi Yeke Maya with Bibilika in Glen. And imagine how set up his whole for the whole campaign. They could encourage my youth, Yeke Maya, condomize and stay alive. Condomize and stay alive. So collaborations make the dream work. There was music, there was murals, there was performance, there was dance, there was poetry, there was everything that you can find. So imagine, if you keep on fusing all these mediums, we'll go ahead. Like, end up very big time.
True.
So, Marcus.
Great. Marcus, you want to get there?
Yeah. And the reason also why we also collaborate is we recognize that our media speaks as much as it speaks the way that it does, right? Yeah. It has got a certain audience. Mm-hmm. If we collaborate, we have also expanded the audience, right? As Nyasha also had pointed out, that the key thing comes back to education. So yes. If we are constantly collaborating, which means you're increasing our audience, which means the message that we're putting it out there, how people get conscious to the aspect of murals as a method of education, or murals as a way of adding color or bringing, there's a whole lot of, color psychology when you also look at it. It does something, having a mural, having a beautiful thing within a neighborhood, because we currently live in a space where, there's a whole lot of things happening, So all of those things, it's a highlight reel, or it's an emphasis on there's hope for another day. There's hope for another day, and also changing mindsets, because we can't talk of we are hoping that the generation is gonna change, right? Without us doing something now. So all of those things and collaborating, it actually builds into that vision of how can we work together. And we have forever understood one thing, me and Nyasha, we started this together, working together. How can we also add also other people into it, so that when we expand, when we grow together, in English, it is not ours. It is about us. How can we collectively, as us, do best with what we got within our spaces? Within our space, if we we are within the mural space, we add hours using that. Right now we are on Earground Radio. We're having this conversation, somebody's listening to it, but also you have amplified. You've amplified the message. Somebody's gonna hear that. So next time, whenever we are doing now, when we say we want to do a color the city for Zimbabwe, now another corporate will be like, oh, you're the guys who actually shared your story on Earground. I actually listened to that. Now that we are there, we amplify. Now the rest of Zimbabwe will have murals in every community. People will know what murals is, but at the same time, we will really reach out. So it's building communities, changing mindsets together. Not I as Marcus, not I as Nyasha Jeche, not you as Blood Marco, but together. All of what we're talking about are possibilities that can be done.
And quite interesting there, because you touch on possibilities, you touch on hope, and you touch on building communities. And right now, Zimbabwe is going through a tough time economically and socially. People are angry, people are depressed. You see, like online, how people are trolling each other and stuff. And also, a lot of young people are jobless, but you guys did not sit back. You came from college straight away. You started an institution that has become one of the most successful creative institutions in Zimbabwe, viable, sustainable. What would be your
bless
way?
up, bless.
Congrats. What would be your way to
thank you.
Young people in Zimbabwe right now that are possibly giving so many excuses because the situation does not really look positive? What would you say to that?
I mean, everyone's story is different. That first and foremost, I have to acknowledge that, because it also comes back to what's driving you. More than anything else, with Nyasha, I think the beauty of what works for CaliGraph is like it's we see things differently, but the vision is bigger than us, and we understand the vision being bigger than us. How can we make sure that things go all the way up there? So vision, it's but the small, the just thinking small mentality is what I've noticed is like I say it can only do so much, but it cannot do so much more, because if you think expansively, like right now where Earground is at, before you know it, probably now you've got 5 or 10 other people that you've also empowered, or 10 other people. And for Africa, you empower 10 people, you've empowered 10 families, right? The question is, start with what you got, with the latest of what you got. I would then tie this to the story of the Oliver Mtukuzu mural. When we worked on that, it was pretty much Nyasha's last hard-earned money that had earned on the side. My last hard-earned money that I'd earned on the side.
So you're saying that you did that mural out of like your own savings?
Yeah, not our own savings. The last bit of money that you have. If you've got savings, at least you got something, eh? Which means you've got savings, right? So literally, we were left with the last amount of money to maneuver around. Nyasha was like, my guy, here's what I got. I was like, how much you got? This is what I got. It was a $50 mural that made sense from 25. and after then $10, you know, it's $5 for transport and everything. We had to literally eat maputi nemafrizi to finish that mural.
Wow.
So it's not easy.
Don't leave. Put it
And
And
how
in
did you
the
feel afterwards with the kind of feedback that you got? The family, I saw Selma Mtukudzi taking a picture there. How did you feel now getting feedback from the Mtukudzi family and everybody else who's appreciating, who's now taking selfies, who's having the legend like in Highfield? How did that make you feel?
Nyasha, share.
one of the greatest moments. It's like the birth of a new child. Like you don't know how to feel, but you know what you urukufara. You don't know how to feel. So it was fantastic. I remember there's this lady, Anonzi, Marian Chikomo. She came through. She's like, "Yo, guys, I love what you're doing. Can I take a live Facebook video?" And then she started filming on Facebook. That was the beginning of it. So it was very great to see. I got a call from Sandra Mtukudzi. She's like, I'm coming to your mural, and thank you so much. What and so much even called us. And that was the beginning of it. It gave us power. It empowered us. Okay, they are loving it. The people are loving it. So this actually works. Let's keep on doing it. Yeah. So
And do you normally get approval from people that you paint?
yes, every day, every time. When we painted Kama Billiard, got in touch with him. Marcus got in touch with him, and they said yes. Winky D, same thing. Like everyone. We have to make sure, even from their side, they know. I'm an influencer. Like my influencers, they are really good people. We're going to paint you Budiriro.
Thanks.
Because
That'll be an honor. That'll be an honor. And before we close, I've seen you guys utilize social media so much. How beneficial has it been? How much business do you get from social media?
Oh, literally everything. Every business is social.
But I thought maybe social media is for trolling and just trolling people, saying jokes and laughing. You guys are making money on Facebook.
that whole negative energy
Yes.
is not good.
It's
Not good for development. It's not good for progress. It's not good for anything. We are just wasting our expensive data trolling each other. I think social media is a good place to market ourselves. There's been a lot of work that has been coming from social media, a lot of love, a lot of everything that's been coming from social media. So it only depends, how do you see social media? Social media, just to throw others. We go to work, we go to look for clients, we go to look for jobs, and we upload those who do great, like Airground is doing great on social media, and you are empowered through social media. So this is what we do with social media.
Great.
Yeah.
so It's also to add on. I mean, like one thing that we have also come to understand: social media is a tool. It's how you use it that will actually benefit or actually add on to what you're doing. It amplifies everything that you're doing. So it's also understanding that as much for me, whenever I go on social media, I consume different brands that inspire me, right? Hence, even my algorithm shows me of certain people. It's a tailor-made thing that actually boosts also what I do. More than anything else, as much as I'm consuming that, what are they consuming from me? What are they consuming from CaliGraph? So clearly, we put out the content deliberately to make sure that people should know. People should know that we are forever working. People should know that we are ready to work. People should know that we are collaborating. People should know that quite recently we have ventured into set design, which Earground is going to partner with us. Also, I'm speaking this into the universe that, we're going to work together. We are ready.
I was having such a conversation with Nyasha just before the interview, and I was talking to him about our Jubilee and Earground space that we want to rebrand our space. And
we are ready to work. We are ready to work. We are ready to work.
Yes, man. Wow, guys, it's been awesome. It's been great speaking to you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys taking your time. But also, most importantly, with the work that you guys are doing, inspiring not just the communities that you're working in, but the nation. You're inspiring so many people to dream and imagine through the imagination that you're painting on the different walls. Just to close off, Marcus, where do you get the energy? Some people have been asking me, like, can you ask me, like, please, when you have an interview, we just want to know what's the source of this energy.
All right. It's a rather different. Actually, first one thing that I had to recognize, because I have to do some soul searching also personally, is like I understood that I'm naturally a happy person, right? And everything flows for me when I'm happy. So every time, whenever I amplify my happiness, I attract nice, beautiful, and amazing opportunities altogether. They come, they literally follow me, or they flow into me. And more than anything else, why I keep hyper is and energetic as well is I've understood that life is never to be taken for granted. That's one, and two, it's understanding that the only real time is now. And I'm like, what on that note, it then brings me to my inspiration, which is, people wouldn't expect it, but death. Like, I look at death as an inspiration. I'm like, okay, if because everybody reviews everybody's life from a social media perspective, and then they'll be like, okay, this person lived this much of their life this way. So my center understanding that tomorrow I may not be here makes me live every moment with such with such an unbelievable. And sometimes I look at the content that I post and laugh as well and be like, it's a little bit too much though, but I appreciate it. So it's all of that, understanding that as much as, if you know that nothing is guaranteed, don't take nothing for granted. Be very expressive, be very bold, and be proud while you're that bold. And people say you're noisy, be like, I'm the right noise that you need in your life. If they say you're quiet, you be like, I'm the right quietness that you need in your life. And as you continue doing that, eventually people will tune to your frequency. I'm not willing to let I'm not willing to let people tune me to a certain frequency. I will amplify up until everybody catches on. So that's
powerful. We're going to cut that out and use it as part of our jingle from time to time, that we have to tune into the frequency and we have to amplify whatever change and whatever impact they want to see. Nyasha, the last word.
So for me, it's just do it. Labor and neck. Just do it. Do whatever you want to do. Just do it. Like, as Marcus says, nothing is guaranteed. Tomorrow we might not be here. So whatever you feel like doing, just do it with grace, with happiness, with confidence. So I do my thing with grace and confidence. As my name is Nyasha, it's also grace. So I'm also confident and fearless. So that's it. Just do your thing.
Wow, great. Thank you so much. To everybody who's been watching, we've been seeing your comments. We're going to pass some of them to the team. I've managed to just read some of them, like in my questions. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate having you guys on this program and speaking to you.
We be on here, girl. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And today you gave us new energy, new light, new vibrance, and just a new way of seeing things. And I really, really appreciate the time that you've taken to be part of this. And to everybody who's been watching, Earground New Voices Amplified, this is the place. But there's somebody who wants to reach out to you, wants to connect. How do they get in touch?
Our DMs are ready. Our DMs reach us on.
Just slide into the DM.
Slide in the DMs. Everything begins in the DM.
Yes.
And then we move to to emails, WhatsApp, and everything. But yeah, it's pretty much that.
Great. Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And until next time, stay tuned to Earground New Voices Amplified. Keep your ear on the ground for the latest information and news on what's happening in the creative space in Zimbabwe. We're all about positive energy, positive vibe, and inspiring new imagination. So until next time, I'm out. Marcus the name. Peace.